Good evening. You're welcome to another edition of Import Export Platform Facebook Live from 3T Import Trade Academy. And today we'll continue our conversation on emphasizing the fact that Nigerian states are billionaires in dollars. Nigerian states are billionaires in dollars. We are on part 6 of this series of conversation, trying to make everyone realize the fact that there is no reason why Nigerian state should be bankrupt, unable to pay salaries, giving us excuses after we have given them the job to come and steer the affairs, direct the affairs of the state. And I am saying emphatically, categorically, with all sense of responsibility, the Nigerian state are billionaires in dollars. Nigerian state are viable. Nigerian state can generate resources they need to sustain themselves. We just need people that can allow what is between their ears to be used. Meaning, using their brain to think in order to solve whatever problem that I think is hindering that from happening. Because as far as I'm concerned, Nigerian state have everything it takes to be able to pay all its bills, to be able to pay the salaries. No state in Nigeria is not viable because that state have human beings, that state have land on which plant is growing, that state have minerals under the soil, but the state is said to be non-viable because the people directing the affair of the state have not taken up the responsibility of ensuring that they take care of the resources, they maximize the resources that is under their care within the state. I dare say again, Nigerian state are billionaires in dollars. We have been talking about the trend. And the trend we have been looking at actually is about export from Nigeria and export in general. I've emphasized the fact that Nigerian export profile, in my opinion, is in sync. The growth or the trajectory of Nigerian export profile is in sync with the profile of the world export, simply because exporting from Nigeria today, the non-oil export, the manufactured component is growing. Before now, agric is the one taking the lead. Before now, as at 2017 January, agric and manufacture are almost on the same level. But by the time you get to later in the year 2017, agric took over. If you also look at 2018, quarter 2 and quarter 4, agric took over. But all in all, manufactured good is leading the way for export from Nigeria. Manufactured good is leading the way. And I'm saying if individuals in different states in Nigeria, if they are able to do this, Nigerian states have no reason to be unable to do it. Nigerian states have no reason to be unable to do it. I dare say Nigerian states are billionaires in dollars. Nigerian states are billionaires in dollars. Manufactured goods in the world constitute more than 60% of export in the world. And these manufactured goods are pushed by the like of China, US, Germany. These are the larger exporters in the world. You know what I discovered about the large export in the world? China, US, Germany, Japan, Netherlands, South Korea, Hong Kong, France, Italy, and United Kingdom. Millionaire cause they scam everyone. I don't understand. Joan Kolensky, your message is not clear. Joan Kolensky, I don't understand your message. I don't understand your message. I don't understand your message. you come on this platform and I really do not understand what you're saying. I'm trying to understand what this guy is saying. Joan Black Dollar. Ram Singh, manufactured of jewelry in India. Okay, I will appreciate if you can ask me questions. Okay, Adewale Adesheun, thank you very much. You know, some people will come on the platform and some are coming to sell their product. I don't have any problem with that if it's on trade, but some is just ranting, and I'm wondering what exactly is he saying. All right, thank you very much. I was actually trying to understand what exactly he was saying, but let me just continue my thought. Now, if you look at it, China, United States, Germany, Japan, Netherlands, South Korea, Hong Kong, France, Italy, and United Kingdom are the major exporter in the world. Let me check last year the major exporters. The major exporter in the world. I'm not sure it has changed in any material way. I'm talking about the major exporter in the world. The major exporter in the world, I'm trying to compare 2017 to 2018, but you realize that these major exporters in the world are mainly exporting finished products. These major exporters in the world are mainly exporting finished products. Major export countries. I'm trying to compare I'm trying to compare that with yes, world top export country as at last year 2018. Let's compare, and you will notice something about them. And then we'll also compare what those people exported. The world top export company, China retaining its position. China grew from 2.2 trillion to 2.5 trillion. United States retaining its second position. United States grew from 1.5 to 1.6 trillion. Germany retained its third position from 1.4 to 1.5 trillion. Japan retained its position from 698 billion to 738 billion. Netherlands retained its position. South Korea, Hong Kong, France, Italy. Do you know what was interesting? The same top 10 exporter in 2017 retained their position in 2018. The same set of exporters. But that was not the case in the case of Africa. In Africa, Nigeria moved from second place to third place to second place. Nigeria moved from second place to third place in between 2017 and 2018. But here is the interesting part. What did these people export? What are their major export items? Electrical machinery, $2.78 trillion. Mineral fuel, $2.5 trillion. That's crude oil. Machinery and computer, $2.82 trillion. Vehicles have dropped. Vehicle used to be number 2. Crude oil used to be number 1. Vehicle used to be number 2. And the way crude oil is going down, I'm suspecting the fact that many people are now using electric cars in the developed world. Cars using water and other means of energy, not the fossil fuel again. So we have cars, $1.5 trillion. Plastic, article of plastic, $656 billion. Gemstone and precious metal, $622 billion. Optical and medical equipment, $614 billion. Pharmaceutical, $600 billion. Organic chemical, $450 billion. Now, organic chemicals. That is important. The world is moving away from non-biodegradable materials. And chemical is a big one for the world. And organic chemical is gaining ground seriously. If you look at 2017 export data, organic chemical is nowhere to be found. But today, organic chemical have come into the top 10 export. Iron and steel also have joined the top 10 export. This is just basically saying, as Nigerians, if you are thinking of export, we should also think of what is the world looking at as far as that space is concerned. What's the direction of the world? So Nigerian state have what it takes. The land is there to cultivate. Developing organic chemical is very easy. It's for us to know which plants are we going to be able to generate those chemicals, and then plant those plants, and then get the technology to be able to get this done. It's so easy for government, in my opinion. Government just bring in expatriates to import those technology so that they can transfer technology to our people, maybe over a period. They build the technology, they operate the business, and transfer the technology and the business over a time. It's called the BOT. Build, operate, and transfer. And then they transfer to locally owned company who will be part of the company when they set up, to be able to ensure that we are adding value locally, but we will have paid them for what they are doing anyway, and we are adding value locally. Now, if you look at the world economy, now I want you to look at the same countries that are major exporters. Those same countries are the major economy in the world. Largest economy in the world, United States, $19.3 trillion. That is 24.4% of the global GDP. China, 15.4% global GDP. China. Followed by Germany, 3.68%. Followed by Japan, 6.13%. Followed by United Kingdom, 3.3%. Followed by France, 2.58%. You will notice a consistent trend. The major exporting country in the world are the major economies in the world. The major exporting country in the world are the major economies in the world. If we want to grow our economy, then we must be a major exporter in Africa. And to achieve this, I dare say our governors can make that happen. Now, I will be moving on from the trend today, this evening, to some major commodities. Look at this. When I started, I talked about the fact that Nigerian farmers are peasant, more than 70%. Most of our post-harvest, most of our commodity perish as post-harvest losses is being put at about 30 to 50% by Food and Agri Organization. Apart from the fact that our farmers are peasant, apart from the fact that most of our agri-commodity perish as post-harvest losses, do you also know that we have not used up to half of our arable land as a country? These are supposed to be shortcomings. But you know what I found out? Despite this shortcoming, Nigeria is still ranked among top producers of most commodities in the world. Are you thinking of cocoa? Nigeria is among the top producers of cocoa in the world. Are you thinking of cashew nut? Nigeria is among the top producers of cashew nut in the world. So the question you should be asking yourself is, despite the fact that Nigeria supposedly is not taking agri seriously, you will find out that Nigeria is still among the major producer of a number of commodities in the world. Nigeria is still among major producer of a number of commodities in the world. What does this tell you? For me, it tells me potentials. Potential. If Nigeria is not taking something serious in terms of, we don't have, how do I describe it now? We don't have what I would call a deliberate effort to be able to grow our GDP. A deliberate effort to be able to grow our non-oil export. So a number of things we see in our non-oil export sincerely are mainly grown by default. So if you check the top 10 producing country of cocoa, top 10 producing country of cocoa, someone said, I know a packaging and printing company owned by Lebanese in Lagos who is importing paper of $10 million every year. $10 million. And we have wood in Nigeria to produce paper. And we are importing paper of $10 million every year. $10 million every year. Look at cocoa, for example. Nigeria is not actively driving the export of cocoa. But you know what? Nigeria is the fourth largest producer of cocoa in the world. Nigeria is the fourth largest producer of cocoa in the world. Remember, most of our farmers are peasants. Remember, most of our farmers are peasants. Remember, most of our farmers are peasants. Remember, we have not used up to half of our arable land. We have not used up to half of our arable land as a nation. We have not used up to half of our arable land as a nation. Most of our farmers are peasants. We have a lot of post-harvest losses despite all these so-called shortcomings. Nigeria is still among top producers of most commodities in the world. And I said cocoa. Nigeria is the fourth largest producer of cocoa in the world. Remember, the market of cocoa is $9.35 billion. All the southwest states, predominantly the high producing state, the states are producing this thing at a high level. They are Ondo State, Osun State, Ekiti State, Ogun State, and then some south states can produce this at a very, very high level. And I mean very, very high level. I can see here Cross River. I can see here Ondo State, Osun State, Ogun State. They are high producer, medium producer, Ekiti State, Oyo State, medium producers, Ekiti State, Oyo State, low producers, Kwara, Kogi. So if you look at the southwestern states, cocoa alone is a big deal. Ogun has a massive land, all of which are capable of use in farming of cocoa. Ogun State have massive land, all of which are capable in farming a lot of cocoa. A lot of cocoa can be farmed from this state. The question is this: how much is this state really doing? How much is the state really doing as far as this is concerned? How much? How much? Go and check it. If we have all this potential and we are producing just fourth largest producer, government are not involved. Government are not involved. And this state have the potential, huge potential of producing this product. And I'm saying the state government, all the state government need to do is to make effort to get its people to farm more cocoa, to cultivate more cocoa. Now we have variants of cocoa that in 2 to 3 years it can begin to fruit. Remember, it's a tree crop. A state governor that can do this in his state is leaving a legacy. Empower your people to farm. Give them the seedling to farm. Buy it from them and export. Make your money from that. Support them in the cultivation. Support them. Let them partner with the government in the cultivation. And get a company registered to drive this process. How can Nigeria, with a massive land and massive population, do you know the largest producer of cocoa in the world is Cote d'Ivoire? Cote d'Ivoire is producing times 8 of Nigeria. Cote d'Ivoire population is not up to Lagos. So Cote d'Ivoire landmass, I'm not sure it's more than Southwest. But Cote d'Ivoire, getting its ass together with direct government involvement, is producing cocoa times 8 of Nigeria, about 1.5 million tons. Nigeria is doing about just less than 400 million tons. Less than 400 million tons. About 360 million tons. This country is doing like times 5, times 6 of Nigeria. And it's a very small country. This is why I'm always excited about our situation in Nigeria. Because if a country is as unserious as Nigeria, and we are still among the top 4 in the world, though, not in Africa, in the world. So what is Ogun State Governor doing? What is Osun State Governor doing? What is Ekiti State Governor doing? What is Ondo State Governor doing? What is Kwara State Governor doing? What is Edo State Governor doing? What is Delta State Governor? All the southeast and southwestern states, and then the south, some part of south like Delta and Edo in south, Delta and Edo in south, Delta and Edo in south, a major part of this. Delta, Edo in south are major part of this. All the states below River Niger, all the states below River Niger, down to Atlantic Ocean, all of them, from Kwara to Kogi to Ekiti to Ondo State to Osun State to Ogun State to Edo State to Delta State, all of them have potential for cocoa cultivation. Ekiti State, for example, is among the poorest states in this region. Ekiti State. Ekiti State is my 3rd state, not my 2nd state. Even though I school in Ekiti State, I went secondary school in Ekiti State. Ekiti State is my 3rd state. My 4th, I'm living in Lagos, so Lagos is my 4th state. My 2nd state is Jigawa State. That's where I serve. Another state with huge potential for export of agric, but Ekiti State and Jigawa State are the same category. Low income. Let me even check the income of Ekiti State. Can we go and check? Let's check the income of Ekiti State. And see what Ekiti is doing vis-a-vis what Ekiti can do. Income of Ekiti State. Ekiti State, as of 2018, total revenue of Ekiti State was $45 billion. Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. Ekiti State, $45 billion. Lord have mercy. Kai. IGR in Ekiti State is just 6 billion. IGR Ekiti State 6 billion. Ekiti State can never do without Abuja. Abuja is contributing like times 7. No, times yes, almost times 7%. Like 7 7/8 of Ekiti State revenue is from Abuja. 7/8 or 6/7 of Ekiti State revenue is from Abuja. How can Ekiti State depend more than 60-70% of revenue of Ekiti State from Abuja, and Ekiti State have potential for cocoa? Ekiti State have potential for cocoa production. Ekiti State can make money directly from the export of cocoa. Cocoa is $9.35 billion export in the world. Cocoa is $9.35 billion export in the world. How on earth? How did Ekiti State get to this point, for crying out loud? How? I don't understand this. This is disaster. How will the state survive? The state is just busy paying salary. The state is just busy paying salary. How on earth can a state survive this? I don't get this. I don't get this. I don't get it. I'm just looking at cocoa alone. I'm looking at a state that if you go to Osun, maybe you will cry for Osun State. Let's look at Osun State. If you go to Osun, maybe we will cry for Osun State. Ekiti is about 45 billion. Let's see what Osun is producing. Osun, wow. If I'm crying for Ekiti State, I should be weeping for Osun State. Osun is 33 billion total. But I must commend Osun though. 1/3 of Osun's revenue is from internally generated revenue. Ekiti must step up. Ekiti must step up. Ekiti. And I know why Osun arrived at this. Osun at some point, after they pay the money from Abuja, Osun at some point, after removing all the debt of the state, the remaining money could not pay the NEPA bill of the government house. When you look at the secretariat and government house, the NEPA bill, the money remaining, I think about 150 million or something, or 50 million. But Osun State is kudos. Osun is about 30% of Osun revenue is actually from IGR. But Ekiti is very bad. Ekiti is spending 45, last year made $45 billion, only 6 billion generated from IGR. Osun State generates $33 billion and about 10 billion were from IGR. So, Ekiti does not have a choice. Ekiti does not have any story to tell us. If Osun can do it, Ekiti can do it. But I know a number of Osun is mainly from companies and factories and miners. And I am saying, Osun, now let me look at where Osun money is coming from. Osun IGR is from Pay. Can you imagine? No, they are billion naira, billion dollar. Billion naira, Adesheun is billion naira, not $1 billion. Billion naira. Osun mainly is generating its revenue from pay as you earn. That is bad. 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 That is not good for Osun State at all. Pay, that means if the business collapse in the state, if the economy of the state collapse, if anything happen and business are not doing well in the state, you won't get money. We need to look for creative way of generating revenue. And that's why I'm saying Nigerian state are billionaires in dollars, but Nigerian state have not explored the opportunity of being a billionaires in dollars. Nigerian state are billionaires in dollars. Nigerian state not exploring the opportunity of being a billionaire in dollars. I'll continue from here tomorrow, and I'll continue to talk about what, despite our shortcoming, despite our unseriousness, how Nigeria has been among the top producer of a number of agro commodity in the world. So if we're already a top producer, we by default, without any deliberate effort, if we begin to put in deliberate effort, we can triple or quadruple what we are producing right now. That means Nigerian state can take the lead of that. And that means we can always make all the money we need to be able to pay the salary of the state. Thank you very much for listening again today. My name is Dilayin, but this is Import Export Platform, Facebook Live for Trinity Better Academy. I'll come again tomorrow as we continue our discussion. Nigerian states are billionaires in dollars. Thank you very much for listening. Bye for now.